8 months into Xavier's marriage, I got pregnant. But I'm not his wife. I'm just the stand-in. Serena Sterling, the billionaire heiress, ran away from her own wedding. Because I happened to look exactly like her, I was press-ganged into taking her place. Her father promised me $5 million if I could keep the charade up for a year. But now, things had gotten a little complicated. I frantically called Mr. Sterling. "You found her, right? Switch us back immediately. If we don't do this now, we never can." I didn't even pack a bag. I was shipped out overnight. 2 weeks later, I was sitting on a bench in Paris feeding white pigeons, contemplating what to do about the baby. Suddenly, strong arms scooped me up from behind. A man's hand gently caressed my cheek, his voice slow and deliberate. "Honey, haven't you played enough? Time to go home." Getting kidnapped and forced to marry Xavier was not on my bingo card. I was on the street buying tacos when, out of nowhere, I was grabbed. 2 hulking bodyguards dragged me into a luxury SUV without a word. 30 minutes later, I was tossed into a villa. In the massive living room, a middle-aged man sat stiffly on a sofa. As soon as he saw me, he grabbed a teacup and hurled it at my head. His voice boomed like a bell. "Serena, do you have any idea what the consequences are for running away? How did I raise such an irresponsible daughter?" I dodged the projectile with practiced agility. The man got angrier. "You dare dodge? I raise you for 20 years. You make a mistake this big, and you still dare to dodge? Me, huh?" He grabbed his cane to strike me. I ran around the living room screaming, "Who is Serena? Don't hit me. You have the wrong person." It took me pulling up my driver's license, my Instagram feed, and my digital ID before he finally accepted the fact that I wasn't his daughter. I was just a random passerby who happened to look terrifyingly similar to her. As an apology, he compensated me with $2,000. I happily took the cash and prepared to leave. But then he spoke up. "Miss Chloe, you look like you need money. I have a business proposition for you. Pull this off, and you'll be set for life." That sentence stopped me in my tracks. The wedding was a month away. Serena had bolted. If Serena came back before the wedding, he'd give me $50,000. If she didn't, I would pretend to be his daughter and marry the guy. The contract was for 1 year. Whether they found her or not, at the end of the year, I'd get $5 million. I was broke. My brain short-circuited, and I said yes. "Honey, are you spacing out right now?" Xavier sounded dissatisfied. He nipped at my lip. "Babe, if you're not going to behave tonight, don't expect to get out of bed tomorrow." I snapped back from my chaotic memories and quickly said, No, I'm super good. I have to go to work tomorrow, please." I blinked my eyes, giving him my best puppy dog look. Xavier tucked a damp strand of hair behind my ear and leaned down to kiss me. He whispered like a devil, "Too late." My eyes were unfocused, staring into the void. Damn it. Nobody told me before the wedding that Serena's husband had such a high drive. Mr. Sterling had told me his daughter and Xavier were a business match. They'd only seen photos of each other, they'd never met in person. And me? I looked exactly like Serena. So much so that Mr. Sterling didn't believe it and ran a DNA test. Unfortunately, we weren't long-lost sisters, we just looked alike. I was heartbroken. My fantasy of being a secret heiress was shattered. But if I couldn't be the heiress, I could be her double. The money spent the same. They couldn't find Serena, so I had to bite the bullet and handle everything: the dates, the marriage license, the wedding. On the wedding night, I sat in the bridal suite wearing a dress worth 7 figures, waiting for him. He pushed the door open. The shifting light cast a long shadow across the room. Xavier's voice was calm. "Nervous, Miss Sterling?" I swallowed hard, my fingers twisting the fabric of the dress. "So, what happens next?" He loosened his tie. "I have normal physiological needs. I had prepared myself before taking the job. A newlywed billionaire wasn't going to agree to a sexless marriage. And Xavier was hot. Great body. 6'2", 8-pack abs, 7 inches. Ahem. Anyway, I definitely wasn't getting the short end of the stick. I woke up the next morning clutching the duvet, contemplating the meaning of life. Xavier wrapped his arms around me from behind. "What's wrong, wifey?" I didn't know I was this kind of person. His voice was raspy with sleep and satisfaction. I mumbled, "I slept with my husband on the first night." "I'm so easy." He pulled me back down. "We can do it on the second day, too." Back then, I didn't realize anything was wrong. Maybe because it was my first time, I got a little addicted, too. After playing house with Xavier for 6 months, I suddenly woke up one day in a cold sweat. Wait. I'm not actually his wife. 6 months post-wedding. In the morning, I went to work at the Sterling Group. Before leaving, Xavier kissed me goodbye. "Honey, I'm picking you up today. Don't wander off." I nodded. The first time Xavier came to pick me up, I had wandered off to a food truck to buy tacos and got distracted chatting with the owner. I didn't look at my phone. When I finally checked, I had a dozen missed calls and texts. He was standing there in a custom suit that looked completely out of place on the dirty street corner, hugging me in front of a busy taco stand. He whispered in my ear, low enough that only I could hear, "Babe, if there's a next time, I'm punishing you." My ears turned bright red. Shut up, shut up. No dirty talk in public." He rubbed my head and pinched my ear. "Next time, tell me in advance. I worry when I can't find you." After that, Xavier picked me up every few days. I didn't think much of it. One day after work, I climbed into the car, hugging and kissing him. After making out for a while, I realized we weren't home. "Where are we going?" Xavier cupped the back of my head. "You'll see." Near the destination, he put a blindfold on me. 5 minutes later, we stopped. He took the blindfold off. The sunset was spilling over a garden full of red roses. It was magnificent. Behind us, someone wheeled out a birthday cake. Amidst the cheerful singing, Xavier lowered his head and kissed me. "Happy birthday, Serena." I had wondered why he brought me here. Turns out, it was Serena's birthday. My feelings were complicated. Right. The person married to Xavier was Serena, not me. I wasn't his wife. Seeing that I wasn't jumping for joy, Xavier looked like a puppy that had peed on the rug. "You don't like it?" I suppressed my messy thoughts and smiled at him. "I love it." The contract was for a year. Half a year had passed. I thought I had 6 months left. But a month later, Mr. Sterling texted me. "Found her." Serena was back. They were keeping her at a villa in the suburbs. She had been caught with her little boyfriend. Now she was on a hunger strike, refusing to return to her life. I watched the video Mr. Sterling sent. It was a bit grainy. Serena looked about 80% like me. With the blur, if I didn't know for a fact it wasn't me, I would have thought someone filmed me secretly. She was screaming at the camera, hysterical. "Why did you marry me off to someone I don't like? I told you I don't like Xavier. I have a boyfriend. Are you trying to kill me?" I stared blankly at the phone, completely unaware that Xavier was standing behind me. The video ended. A long finger reached over and hit replay. The raspy female voice screamed from the speaker again after the crying jag. Xavier rested his chin on my shoulder, his hand already sliding into my pajamas. "Completely don't like me?" I scrambled to close the video. His tie was already wrapped around my wrist. "When is that video from?" I let out a breath. He misunderstood. He thought it was from before the wedding. He didn't realize the person in the video wasn't the person in front of him. I improvised. "I forgot. A long time ago. Xavier tightened the tie, binding my hands behind my back. He seemed exceptionally calm today, his voice gentle. What should we do? Serena hates me so much, but she still has to be married to me. My heart trembled. Xavier. I was terrified when he got like this. When he was actually yelling, I wasn't scared. It was the gentle psycho vibe that killed me. Anything you want to explain? No. What could I explain? Serena really doesn't like you. I stayed silent. Xavier smiled. He commanded, on your knees. I buried my head in the pillow. Xavier interrogated me about who the boyfriend was. Help. How would I know who Serena's boyfriend is? I tried to dodge the question. He thought I was protecting the guy, so he got meaner. By the end, my eyes were unfocused. He finally regained his composure, kissing my neck. Babe, it doesn't matter if you didn't like me before the wedding. It doesn't matter if you had a boyfriend. You're mine now. Only mine. They hadn't worked things out with Serena yet, but I had a problem on my end. I was pregnant. My period, usually punctual, didn't show up. It took me a while to realize something was wrong. Xavier was usually careful, except for that one time he lost control. I had been too exhausted to move a finger, and the next day I was giving him the silent treatment. Watching him run around trying to appease me, birth control completely slipped my mind. Xavier probably remembered. That day, when I took a vitamin C, he specifically asked what pill I was taking. Why didn't I think to just take a plan B then? I sat in the doctor's office, waiting for my number, feeling like my life was over. 30 minutes later, I held the report, staring into space. Bad. This was really bad. I took a picture and sent it to Mr. Sterling. How is Serena doing? I'm pregnant. If you want to switch back, do it now. Once I start showing, it'll be too late. Waiting until after the birth wasn't an option. I couldn't leave my child for another woman to raise as her own. As for an abortion, I wasn't ready to say goodbye to it yet. Mr. Sterling didn't reply immediately. I sat on a bench downstairs at the hospital. The screen on my lap lit up. I thought it was Sterling, but it was Xavier. Babe, what do you want for dinner? I tapped the screen, haven't decided. Maybe tacos. He replied, wait for me after work. We'll go get some. A cold wind blew from the north. Winter was coming. It was so cold. We ended up going to the supermarket and stocking the fridge. I said I'd cook, but I directed him to do all the prep work. Once the tedious chopping was done, the cooking was easy. I made garlic shrimp, broccoli with mushrooms, spicy tofu, and sweet and sour ribs. When I finished, Xavier untied my apron and kissed me. Good job, wifey. I pushed him away. My face is greasy from cooking. No kissing. After dinner, he cleared the table while I curled up on the sofa with my Switch. I got a text from Mr. Sterling. Serena agreed. When is the soonest you can switch back? I instinctively looked toward the kitchen. Xavier was loading the dishwasher, wiping down the counters. Sensing my gaze, he looked back. Babe, I'm almost done. I'll come play with you in a second. I looked down and replied. Next week. Xavier is going on a business trip next week. She can come early to get used to the house. Send me Serena's number. I need to tell her about Xavier's habits. Before his trip, Xavier surprisingly didn't cling to me like usual. Instead, he asked, Honey, did you miss your period this month? My body went stiff. I'll go check it out in a couple of days. Probably just irregular again. It happens. He looked thoughtful. When I get back next week, I'll go with you. I nodded. Okay. The bedside lamp clicked off. The room plunged into darkness. We slept in the center of the big bed, wrapped in each other's arms. I rested my head on his chest, listening to his heart. Thump, thump. Xavier traveled for business often. Before he left, I stood on my tiptoes to kiss him goodbye. I won't see you off at the airport. Be safe. He ruffled my hair. You too, babe. Be safe at home. I smiled and pushed him toward the door. Go on, you'll be late. What could happen to me at home? He left reluctantly. Something was going to happen at home. I looked around, assessing what I could take. I realized that everything in Xavier's house belonged either to him or his wife, Serena. I couldn't even pack a suitcase. Finally, I took a ruby necklace from the vanity. It was the first gift Xavier ever gave me. I put it on. The stone felt cold against my skin. I'd just say I lost it. I pulled out a burner phone. He's gone. You can come over. Remember to transfer the money. I stopped by the Sterling mansion to pick up my real ID and passport, then headed for the airport. The plane pierced the clouds. The flight was 10 hours long. The ruby necklace refracted the sunlight, sparkling brightly. I closed my eyes. I threw the dreamlike experience of the last 8 months to the back of my mind. Tomorrow was a brand new day. I landed in Paris. Walking the streets, I vaguely remembered Xavier promising to take me on a honeymoon here. Well, honeymoons are for real couples. A counterfeit like me shouldn't participate. Xavier was across the ocean. I was in Europe. Serena was back in the States. We were all in our separate lanes. I wanted to reminisce about the good times with Xavier, so I opened my messages, only to realize I didn't have him as a contact. The account I used to talk to him was created for the role. I handed it over to Serena when I left. I had completely cut ties with him. I stared blankly at my phone, my chest feeling tight. It hurt. I couldn't describe the feeling, just that it hurt. A notification popped up at the top of the screen. My breath hitched. My heart hammered in my ribs. Bank of America alert, deposit of $5 million.00. Current balance, $5,542.48. Thanks. Doesn't hurt anymore. I'm happy now. I am so easy to buy off. Damn it. Paris. Feeding white pigeons. Very therapeutic. I found a small bench in a park. White pigeons filled the twilight sky, landing around me. I threw a handful of grain. Flap, flap, peck. I threw another handful. Peck, peck, peck. So stress-relieving. 2 of them started fighting over food. Feathers drifted in the wind, floating gently onto the water. I grabbed another handful. Some gray pigeons on the right hadn't eaten yet. It wasn't a famous tourist spot, just a small neighborhood park. Hardly any tourists, barely any locals. The closest person was a white-haired old man looking at me cheerfully. He was the one who shared his birdseed with me. Realizing I didn't speak French, the old man switched to English. He clearly didn't like English much. His sentences were very short. I tried to chat, but he waved me off with a look of disdain, telling me to just feed the birds. Weird little old man. But friendly. Pigeons swam in the water, flew in the sky. The sun in the west looked like a giant salted egg yolk, slowly sinking. I swallowed. Now I wanted to eat salted egg yolks. The sunset was burning. I held up my phone to capture the moment in a foreign land. A white pigeon took flight from the corner of the frame. The photo turned out amazing. I'd post it later. Enjoying the peace of nature, I saw a couple walk by on the other side of the park. The woman was heavily pregnant. Her husband held her hand as they strolled. I froze. The issue I'd pushed to the back of my mind came rushing back. I touched my stomach. What about this kid? If I keep it. Single-parent households can be tough. Although I have $5 million, raising a kid in a major city is expensive. Being frugal would feel like I was shortchanging the child. Plus, the father is married. Secretly having his kid feels ethically murky. If I don't keep it. I haven't decided. Do I really want to abort my first child? I sighed. I'll agonize over it for another month. No point torturing myself now. It's all Xavier's fault for not wrapping it up and not reminding me to take the pill. Annoying. He had his fun, and left me with all the problems. Bored, I drew a circle on the ground with the grain. The pigeons arranged themselves into a circle to eat it. My mood improved slightly. I made 2 more circles. Repeating this meaningless, mechanical action made the messy thoughts in my head drift away. When I finished the last handful, I heard someone ask in English, "All out?" I was zoning out and didn't react to how young the voice sounded. I thought it was the weird old man again, so I replied casually, "Yeah, all out." "Do you have more? Can I buy some from you?" He didn't answer. Curious, I turned my head to see what the old man was doing. But before I could see anything, I was pulled into an embrace. My head hit a solid chest. Big pecs. Just as big as my fake husband's. The scent of bitter orange leaves washed over me. Done feeding the pigeons? Time to go home. A man's large, dry hand caressed the side of my face. I was forced to look up, meeting his gaze. Xavier's tone was slow, his voice dangerously gentle. "Right, wifey? Isn't he on a business trip on the other side of the Atlantic? Why is he here? Haven't played enough? Still want to play?" Xavier separated my fingers, interlacing his long digits with mine. He leaned down slightly, biting my earlobe. "Honey, do you need me to keep you company? Something is wrong." I tried to wiggle out of his arms. Failed. Xavier held me tight. I pushed hard. Didn't move. I feigned anger. "Are you sick? Hugging random people in the park calling them wifey? Let go or I'm calling the cops." Xavier wasn't intimidated at all. He snatched my phone and held it high in the air, saying lightly, "Can't call the cops now. He's 8 inches taller than me." I couldn't reach my phone at all. Even jumping didn't work. Unless I climbed him like a tree. I was shocked. "You're mugging me too? That adds to the charges." He didn't care. Can my wife come home with me now?" "Wife my ass. Your wife is Serena, not me." I tried to snatch the phone back. Predictably failed. Then Xavier scooped me up in a princess carry. I struggled. "What are you doing? I don't know you. You can't just claim random wives. I only claim you." I might have struggled too hard, so Xavier adjusted his grip. He grabbed the hood of my hoodie so I couldn't run. I was only wearing the hoodie. If I slipped out of it, I'd be flashing the park. I gave up. "Dude, who are you? Look, we're both Americans, just let me go, okay? Don't make a scene in a foreign country." He picked me up again. "Explain at the hotel." He emphasized the word hotel. I looked at the sky. Why are there people who just claim random wives? Xavier ignored me. He stopped talking. Rude. The hotel he booked was huge. Presidential suite vibes. He tossed me onto the bed. The mattress went boing, and I went boing. I tried to crawl up, but Xavier pressed his entire weight onto me. We were so close I could see the fine hairs on his face. His breath ghosted over my cheek. Xavier traced my eyebrows. "Start explaining." I swallowed. "Do we have to explain in this position?" Xavier's hand slid down, resting on my stomach. He answered, "Baby is pregnant." So, no. Some messy images flashed through my mind. My relationship with Xavier hadn't been conflict-free. I often annoyed him over small things. Flaking on him, picking fights for no reason. If life got too boring, I'd find a reason to argue. Xavier usually indulged my drama. But afterwards, I'd always be apologizing while being. He tapped my lips, implying heavily, "If you want to sweet-talk me before explaining, that works too." I put on my pitiful face. "I'm really not your baby. You have the wrong person, don't you?" He raised an eyebrow. "Do I?" I nodded vigorously. "Yes, yes. Do you even know my name?" "See, you don't." He cut me off. "Chloe Liang. You like the street tacos near the office, heavy on cilantro, no green onions. You always buy 2 orders, and what you can't finish, you treat me like a trash can and make me eat. You like hugging pillows when you sleep. If I throw your pillows away, you hug me. Wait. So the pile of pillows I bought. He threw them away. I wondered why they kept mysteriously disappearing. You like being ordered around. You like it when I'm dominant. If I'm gentle, you don't listen." Saying this, Xavier's hand gently closed around my neck, his tone incredibly soft. "Babe, was I too gentle with you lately? Is that why you learned how to run away?" My breath hitched. Xavier. What should you call me? Now, open your mouth. I'm doomed. I buried my face in the pillow. Xavier tried to pull me back into his arms, but I ignored him, continuing my ostrich impression. "Babe, stop being shy. Eat dinner first." I mumbled, "Already ate." He turned my head and kissed me. "Eat some real food, or you'll get hungry." "Ah, stop talking." I pulled the duvet over my head. "I'm not hungry." Xavier lifted me up, blanket and all. "Babe, rolled up in the blanket like that, you look like a little turtle." I popped my head out. "You're the turtle." He nodded. "Yeah, now you look even more like one." I puffed up my cheeks. He rubbed the corner of my lips. "Still upset?" I covered his mouth to stop him from saying anything else incriminating and changed the subject. "How did you find me?" The table was full of food. While I was playing ostrich, Xavier had set out the room service. He poured me a glass of warm water and handed me chopsticks. "Admit you know me now?" I stayed stubborn. "Don't know you. The world is huge." "How did he find me?" Xavier wouldn't tell me. He just kept feeding me like a hamster. Stuffed, I rolled over to the sofa. Xavier stuck to me immediately. He tried to kiss me. I said seriously, "You are married." Xavier played with my hair, replying casually, "This counts as cheating," I rambled. "Men who don't respect themselves are trash." Xavier showed zero remorse. "So I'm cheating. And? Can you face your wife with a clear conscience?" Xavier glanced at me coolly. "Can my wife face me with a clear conscience?" She probably can't either." I felt a pang of guilt. Cheating is wrong. Once a cheater, always a cheater. Trash men aren't allowed to kiss me. Xavier pinched my cheek. "Getting good at gaslighting, aren't you, sweetheart?" I hugged a pillow and turned away. I hadn't prepared a contingency plan for Xavier tracking me down. I didn't know what to do. Xavier held me, chin resting on my shoulder, not speaking. After a long time, he suddenly said, "Chloe, I'm very angry." Xavier's tone was calm. Eerily calm. He said he was angry the same way someone would say it's sunny today. Was it fun pushing me onto someone else? I bit my lip. "Not someone else. Your wife." He cupped my face. "The person I know is you. The person I got the license with, the person I had the wedding with, was you." "But his wife is Serena." Xavier sighed. "I filed for divorce before I came to find you. By the time we get back to the States, the paperwork will be finalized. I'll be single." I froze. "Just like that? Divorced?" Xavier hooked my finger with his. I'm very angry. Coax me. Wifey, I'm very easy to coax. He looked so pitiful. Luckily, I'm a sucker for the hard sell but soft on the pathetic act. I'm a tyrant at home. Seeing Xavier vulnerable made me bold. No. Really won't coax me? I nodded. Nope. He looked thoughtful. Okay. Fine. Don't regret it. Regret what? 30 minutes later, I regretted it. I grabbed my pajamas and went to wash up. Xavier surprisingly didn't follow me. When I came out towel drying my hair, he naturally found the hairdryer and dried it for me. I lay on the bed playing with my phone, but something felt off. I inspected the screen. Xavier had touched my phone. He swapped the icons of two apps I rarely use. This was a new phone, and I hadn't added his fingerprint. How did he unlock it? I turned my head, but Xavier turned it back. Don't move. Drying your hair. When did you ever change your password? Oh. True. What did you do on my phone? Xavier, something bad. Why is he so honest? What bad thing? A bad thing that will make you coax me. He wouldn't tell me. I had to find it myself. I checked every app. Social media, fine. Entertainment, fine. Games? My items were still there. What was it? Until I opened my banking app. I stared in shock at my balance. 542. 48. Where did the 5 million go? I tapped around and found the transaction record. It was transferred out while I was in the shower. Xavier turned off the hairdryer. I sat up and stared at him. He wound up the cord, put it away, poured some water. Bustling around. I watched his every move. Xavier acted completely unbothered. When he finished his tasks and came back to me, I said darkly, "Do you want to explain?" This time, Xavier refused. No. I lunged at him. Xavier, you heartless bastard. Give me back my 5 million. Xavier caught me easily. No. You sold me for 5 million and didn't give me a cut? What do you mean, sold? This was the deal from the beginning. Give it back. He was unmoved. No. So angry. So angry. So angry. Xavier looked down. Babe, coax me, and I'll return it. I'm the one who's mad, and I have to coax him. Even angrier. I burrowed into the blanket and ignored him. Xavier waited patiently. 5 million. That's $5 million. A person can't choose dignity over money. I stuck a hand out of the blanket and tugged Xavier's shirt. I was wrong. Xavier is good at fishing. He ignored me. Pretended he didn't see me. I pulled harder. Xavier, I was wrong. I crawled out of the blanket and hugged him from behind. Hubby, it's all my fault. Don't be mad anymore. My hand drifted lower. Men are easy to coax. But Xavier grabbed my wrist. Don't start. That doesn't work either. How am I supposed to coax him? I didn't know what else to do. That was my go-to move. Xavier must be really mad this time. I wrapped my arms around his waist and held him tight. I didn't try anything funny this time. I whispered, I'm sorry. Sorry for leaving without a word. Sorry for lying to you from the start. I didn't want to be with you under someone else's identity. I pressed my face against his back and mumbled, I knew you could tell the difference. I wanted you to come find me. I was just being greedy. Serena has a boyfriend, she hates him. Once she was free of her father's supervision, she would likely tell Xavier the truth immediately. Serena has my current contact info. I'd been posting on my social feed constantly. Finding my location through my posts wouldn't be hard. He really came. My chest felt tight. It hurt in a good way. I wanted him to hold me. Xavier, actually, I really like you. Will you hug me? Xavier said he was easy to coax. He really was. The 5 million was returned. I jumped around in joy. He pinned me down. It's just 5 million. Is it that exciting? Just 5 million? Can those words go together? You sold me for 5 million? Have some ambition. The necklace I gave you last time was worth more than that. That ruby necklace? I stayed stubborn. That's different. How? I earned this money with my own blood, sweat, and tears. Xavier said coolly, yeah, blood, sweat, and tears selling your husband. We're never letting this go, are we? I burrowed into his arms, looked up, and pouted. Stop bringing it up, please. Hubby, do you really want me to feel guilty forever? Xavier, yes. My smile vanished instantly. I pointed at the door, stone-faced. Fine, then enjoy it. Get out and sleep on the sofa tonight. Don't touch me. We didn't stay in France long. Xavier had delayed his business trip to find me, so he had to get back to work. Before leaving Paris, I took him to the small park one last time. A flock of white pigeons took flight, and a feather drifted down. I caught it and gave it to Xavier for safekeeping. The old man was there again. I bought a bag of grain from him. He glanced at Xavier. Boyfriend? Xavier answered for me. Husband. I couldn't stop grinning. Liar. We aren't married. Just deceiving old men. Xavier practically wanted to tie me to his belt loop to keep me from running off again. I flew with him to the next country. He worked, I played. He was efficient, finishing up quickly. The rest of the time, he spent with me. I asked, aren't we going back to the States? Xavier looked at the calendar. 1 more week. Why? Waiting for the divorce decree. We can wait in the US. He rubbed my head. No. I don't want you running into Serena and overthinking things. I mumbled, I'm not that sensitive. He raised an eyebrow. Really? Maybe? It was his fault. Sometimes in bed, he used to call me Serena. Even on her birthday. Jerk. Annoying. And I couldn't even complain. Luckily, he mostly called me honey or babe. He rarely used the name. Xavier leaned down to kiss me. From now on, I'll call you Chloe. No need. My ears burned a little. I like babe better. Xavier's voice is deep and mature. When he whispers babe gently, it really hits the spot. Though, if he acted a little rougher while speaking gently, that would be even better. Oh no. I'm a weirdo. I peeked at Xavier. Luckily, he accommodates me. Hee hee. The day Xavier went to the courthouse to finalize the divorce was the first time I met Serena in person. Seeing her in real life, I realized we weren't actually that identical. In the photos Mr. Sterling sent, she had long black hair and white dresses, pure as snow, true to her name. In the video, she was in oversized pajamas, smashing things, makeup free. That's when she looked like me. Seeing her now, I realized. Who could possibly confuse us? In just 2 weeks, Serena had chopped her hair into a wolf cut and dyed it green. She wore a vintage velvet shirt and black straight-leg pants. Seeing us arrive, she lowered her sunglasses and looked over. I stared. She glanced at Xavier, then her eyes lingered on me. I blurted out, is your partner actually a boyfriend, or a girlfriend? Serena raised an eyebrow. Boyfriend. I'm hetero. Oh. Stereotypes really are a mountain to climb. She suddenly added, die-hard hetero. Stereotypes exist for a reason, though. Xavier didn't let me talk to her much. Since there were no disputes, the divorce was finalized rapidly. They walked out with the papers. Serena waved at me. I'll buy you dinner sometime. Thanks for everything. Her dad gave me $5 million, and she's thanking me. Mr. Sterling is the only victim in this story. I watched Serena walk away, lost in thought. Xavier took my hand. What, you have a crush on her? That sounded like jealousy. He didn't deny it. I'm jealous. I laughed. You're jealous of a girl? He pinched my palm. You asked about her sexual orientation. I wrapped my arms around his neck and kissed him. Xavier, she's straight, and so am I. She has a boyfriend, and so do I. Don't be jealous. I only like you. He held me, and we kissed right there on the courthouse steps. 2 girls walked by. I heard one say, kissing right outside the courthouse. Newlyweds are different. The other said, totally. In this economy, anyone getting married must be in love. Let them kiss. When will I get a sweet romance? You? Forget it, you're gonna be alone for. They walked away, their voices fading. If they knew we were here for Xavier's divorce, their jaws would have dropped. I thought it was funny and started to tell Xavier. He turned to me. Babe, did you bring your ID? What is he planning? I clutched my bag. No. You just got divorced. I am not marrying you right now. The clerk is right inside. What would they think? I tried to bolt, but he grabbed my hood. Where are you running? I struggled. If I don't run, you'll drag me in to get married. Who gets married the same day they get divorced? No, absolutely not. He sighed. Fine, we won't do it today. Stop running. I side-eyed him. Okay, he doesn't look like he's going to force me. I relaxed and took his hand. Okay, then I won't run. We wandered aimlessly, chatting. I started gaslighting him again. Even though you're a divorcee, I won't hold it against you. I'm such a good person. Let me tell you, nobody wants a divorced man these days. I'm being so generous taking you off the market, so you have to listen to me, got it? He smiled. When I listen to you, you complain. No, I don't. When have I ever complained about him listening? Right there on the street, he leaned down and bit my ear lightly. Babe, you obviously prefer it when We had somehow wandered to a food street. My ears were burning. I cut off his dirty talk. Xavier. I want street tacos. Go buy me some. Stop talking. Or I'm going to dig a hole and hide in it. He held my hand tighter. Okay. Let's go get tacos. Tacos are delicious.